got good receivers on the outside. Cosby, Jones, start some fades and some slants. If they're going to play man coverage, bring everybody in, block up the middle, and I think you can win one-on-one on the outside, but you've got to get the top.
Well, kicking with the win. That one's going to go 6 yards deep, and they'll scrimmage from the 20. Jackaroo. Lucky, going to have about 4 yards. Let's take a look at the
total yards for Texas. I expected them to be much higher than 209 yards. But you would think with 209 they'd have more points. Of course, they moved the ball well a couple of times between the 20s. But again, give Nebraska credit. And I think Coach Brown is exactly right. What he told Jack is exactly right. One team came to play loose and free and have some fun, and the other team, his team, is not that way.
Keller got the pass away, and he's got it complete to Hardy, and Hardy is off and running at the 30, 25, and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Marcus Griffin. That is good for 56 yards.
And it was the play action that got this all started. Remember, Bill Callahan told Jack we're going to do the same thing that we were doing in the first half, which was that little inside zone. Well, that time they did run it, and that's just bad leverage by Ryan Palmer, and then the safety Griffin has to come over. Palmer just got completely out of position, and everyone else was sucked up on that run play.
From the 20, this is Lucky, and he'll be stopped after a gain of about a yard. Bobineau from his middle linebacking position.
And Franz Hardy is the fastest player on this team. That's his 5th career reception of 50 or more yards, and that was all set up because of that play action. Palmer got himself out of position. That's twice that we've seen the secondary of Texas get completely out of position on big plays, and their angles are just off.
Yep, they surely were. It is a 2nd down and 9 from the 19-yard line. And that's going to be a 5-yard mark-off against Nebraska.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 59 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, that's one of the team captains. Byford, the center, senior out of Hartselle, Alabama.
And these are the types of plays. There's 59 right in the middle of your screen. Yeah, sure did. And those are the types of plays after a big play that just really, because they're non-competitive. You don't even get to run the play.
So it's 2nd down and 14. Penalty moves it back to the 24-yard line. Keller looking. Gets it out in the flat. It's complete and hit immediately as Marlon Lucky. And that's Scott Derry, the linebacker, who is all over him. And it will be 3rd down for Nebraska.
Well, and you are in field goal territory already if you're Nebraska. And Texas can play coverage. You have to assume Texas is going to play coverage, not blitz. I would think some type of fade or a post and try to get the safety down.
Derry, by the way, with 6 tackles in the ball game, right over the middle. First guy out to practice, he looked like Nate Swift with the touchdown.
Exact same route combination they ran at the end of the half. There was a post by Swift, and the safety, Odoego, never saw it.
I have a piece of advice. Mac better, his players better stop having fun. They better start covering some people for Nebraska.
Well, that's the exact same play that Nebraska ran for the touchdown at the end of the half, and it was the exact same safety, Odoego, who didn't see Swift running the post.
Extra point attempt up, and it is good by Henry. And with 12 minutes and 32 seconds showing on the clock, the new score, Nebraska 17 and Texas. So we are back 17-3. Swift with his 2nd touchdown pass, and just at least the routes were the same on the 2 touchdowns. At least he got hit on the first one. This one, there was nobody around him. Wow.
There was confusion in the secondary both times, and the safety Odoego never got over the top of Swift. He was so worried about Purify on the outside.
Here's the kick, and this is going to be held up. Coming down at the 12-yard line is Cosby. And Cosby will put a head down and take it across the 25. Ed, let's take a look at this.
Play a little bit softer off the other side. Expect a tougher throw to the outside than the inside.
Well, Jamal Charles will take it for a couple of yards. And let's go back down to already, Jack. I think it's incumbent upon Texas to come up with an answer to something here pretty shortly, because you not only have a situation where Texas has allowed the Cornhuskers to hang around, they've done more than hang around. They've taken advantage, and now with a 14-point lead.
And I want to go back to what Jack told us earlier, something about Sean Watson coming. One of the adjustments they made was he came down out of the booth. He was the eyes for Bill Callahan. Bill Callahan and Sean worked together calling the plays, but I think this has been the right move to get Sean Watson, the quarterback's coach as well as the offense coordinator, down onto the field, so it's more of an emotional thing, and that's maybe what this team needed.
Pass caught right over the middle, Obaniah, and it'll be a Texas first down at the 40. A gain of 10 yards.
Excellent job by McCoy. That was not a blitz that time. Nebraska has been able to get pressure just rushing forward. They're winning some one-on-one battles up front, but that time McCoy, even though he was avoiding a rush, kept his eyes down the field and was able to make a throw. Nice heads-up play.
That time Nebraska showed as though they might come with pressure and then drop 5 deep, so they went into a nickel situation. And the safety valve worked perfectly. Nebraska 17-3. 21-point underdogs coming into this ball game. Jamal Charles will take it for about 3. Barfield defensively for the Huskers.
A lot was made after the Oklahoma loss about Colt McCoy and how he had a tearful speech to his team about dedicating more to this team. And the coaches have been pushing Colt McCoy to be a little more of a vocal leader. Well, if a vocal leader was needed for Texas right now in Mack Brown, it could be Colt McCoy, but they definitely need somebody to step up.
Well, Charles goes straight ahead, and he is going to be short of the first down by 3. Let's go back to Loki, the fullback, the defensive tackle, as he did on one of the opening series of the ball game. McCoy running for his life, throws the pass, incomplete. That is Jermichael Findlay he was trying to connect with, and it was Larry Asante who was applying the pressure. 4th down.
Well, with Luke Tiemann out, they've been giving Loki a lot of time, but this is a passing down. I would think you would want more of an offensive player in there. And there was pretty good pocket there, and McCoy just bailed out of it too soon. We saw that a little bit earlier in the season when pressure would break down, he'd have to bail out, but that time he bailed too early.
Boy, a punt off the side of his foot, and this one's going to turn into gold, though, as it goes inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 7. Well, 46 yards in the kick, 17-3. Nebraska continues.
At home or here? Do you think he really cares that Nebraska's in town?
If he could put his hoof over his eyes right now, he probably would.
They need some shades.
Well, Nebraska starts inside their own 10 for the 3rd time in 7 possessions today. Lucky turns the corner, 10-15, and let's see, they're going to say he's out of bounds at around the 17-yard line. Jared Norton, the number 2 middle linebacker, replacing Bobineau, makes the tackle for the Longhorns. And let's take a look at more of the business yesterday at the foul, but he almost got gored. And on the play, the Nebraska running back did as well. A gain of about 3. Lucky hit by Sergio Kindle and Lamar Houston. They're
that close.
That close, Hunter.
Well, you know, he's been working the sidelines for a long time in college football. And he's been run over a couple of times trying to get in close to the action. So I know that may have been worse than a 200-pound running back having Bevo get upset at you.
Lucky cuts it back up into the middle, and he'll take it to the 21. Now it's going to be a third down. Roy Miller defensively.
And Miller came up a little hobbled. We've seen Derek Lokey playing a bunch of offense today. Kind of unusual to see that.
He's going to come off.
So Miller has to come off. And well, you want your pass rush in there. You've got to expect Arakpo to do something. Somebody's got to start making a play for Texas defensively.
Near sideline, cannot get back around to make the catch. That's Purify. He was juggling it as he came out of bounds, and it'll be fourth down for Nebraska.
Well, Mac Brown was talking about his team playing loose and free, and Texas over the last several years has been one of the best kick blocking teams in the country. They have 0 this year. And you get a sense that this may be one of those times where if you got a block, your team would get right back into the game.
Titchener gets the boot away. Good driving kick into the wind. And gathered at the 35 by Cosby. And that is great coverage on the part of the Cornhuskers. 35 yards in the kick and nothing on the return. And now here's our ESPNU All-State standings review. You're exactly right.
Dennis Dixon is awfully good at quarterback for Oregon this year.
McCoy, there's the quick slant you were just talking about. And Cosby could not hold on, and McCoy is shaken up.
He got hit right on his shin as he let that ball go. And that's Ty Steinkühler, who got in there. Not a dirty play. He was already down on the ground just trying to finish it. McCoy's okay. He's a tough guy, but Ron, through this season, and of course you lost 3 offensive linemen to the NFL, so of course you're not going to have the same protection, but McCoy has taken a pounding this year versus last year.
Nebraska shows blitz. They come after it, and the running play is absolutely nothing. And this is what I'm talking about as far as adjustments that simply haven't happened by Texas. I mean, it's same old, same old. It's about what they saw in the first half.
Yeah, and the one thing they haven't done, and they don't do a lot, is shifts and motions to make Bill Callahan's troops have to think about where is the strength of the formation. And Nebraska can just line up. You can see the linebackers, McEwen and Octavian, can just tee off. They don't have to think about anything. I think that Texas should start trying to put some shifts and some motion to make Nebraska at least have to think about where they're going to be blitzing from.
McCoy is going to run for it at the 40 and is pushed from behind just as he comes out of bounds. That was T.R. Green. It's a gain of 12 yards on the play.
Well, it just seems that every single pass play is completely breaking down. And it's been pressure, pressure, pressure. You know, Greg Davis said he expected Nebraska to blitz more than the 19%, and very lucky that McCoy did not get hurt as he got pushed legally there at the end of the play. But Nebraska's up around 100% right now. They're blitzing on every single down, it seems.
But an increase of 19%, right? That's what they had been averaging, if you could believe it. If you missed that off the top of the telecast. Gain of a couple of yards. McKeon and Murillo combining on the stop.
The thing you'd want to see Texas start to fold in to their offense against a blitz. Jamal Charles on a delay draw because of his speed. If he makes one guy miss, there's nobody home. Start to see some more slants or fades because you're going to have one-on-one coverage to the outside. You're going to have to start calling some plays knowing the blitz is coming.
Pitch goes to Charles. Turns the corner, gets by one man, and he's going to be close to the first down at the 46.5-yard line. Jack Arup.
His freshman year. The issue for Jamal, though, has been fumbles. And Earl Campbell, the former Heisman Trophy winner, has been working with Jamal a little bit on how he holds the ball. And there's just times when they fear having Jamal Charles in there. He fumbled on the 4-yard line against Oklahoma going into score. So he's great, but he's got to be able to hold on to the rock.
You know, Obanaya also has worked with him. And there's the picture of Earl Campbell and Jamal Charles together.
And we talked to Jamal Charles about this, and he said, well, he gave me good pointers. The problem is Mr. Campbell has a lot bigger hands than I have, so I have to work with what I have.
They did not pick up the first down. Bontrell McGee, the redshirt freshman, comes in, and McCoy will go straight ahead. And well, if he picked it up, it's just going to be barely.
I think it was the second surge of that offensive line that picked it up. Dallas Griffin, the senior.
And Dominican Sue on the tackle.
You got it right.
Yeah.
And Brandon Berg, who did the opening, the linebacker said, Mr. Franklin, you better get this name right.
Lance, it's correct, my friend. Sue is easy to say, and I think that's what we'll stay with.
And Indomicon means house of spears.
Obanaya comes back into the ballgame at tailback. So Nebraska continues to jump around on defense, and here they come. McCoy got single coverage near sideline, and it is knocked away on a nice defensive play. That was Bowman, Cy Bowman, the senior out of Anchorage, against Quan Cosby, and he was up to the task.
Boy, Bowman timed this perfectly, didn't he? This looked like it was going to fall right in the lap of Cosby, and he read the eyes. You teach the cornerbacks all the time, if you don't turn and find the ball, read the eyes of the receiver, and his hands and his eyes will tell you when the ball's coming. And Bowman gets his hand up just in time to get a piece of that ball. Otherwise, it's a big completion for Cosby.
McCoy is now 10 of 22, 137 yards. Good look at Zach on the far sideline, getting a breather. It's going to be either defensive holding or pass interference, one of the two, and I think it's Grigsby, who had just come back into the lineup working against Cosby.
Contact when the ball's in the air. In college football,
yard penalty. First down.
In college football, you can make contact until the ball's in the air. If you do it afterwards, it is pass interference.
And let's go down to... Yeah, the running play goes for maybe a yard. Let's go
many times. You know?
Hey, guys. Okay, thanks, Jack. The Rocket, of course, pitched here and is probably as big an orange blood as there is around, as Charles can't get around the corner. Defensively, Brandon Berg with a nice play.
And, of course, he was talking about Java Chamberlain, who he came to the game with, his teammate from the Yankees.
Nebraska.
Yeah, he played at Nebraska. Chamberlain did, became the setup man for the Yankees. And they parted ways, and of course, it's because Java was probably running his mouth a little bit with this score, and now Texas behind the chains again. Ron, it's like every time they get down into this area, they start going backwards.
Third down at about 11, 10th play of the drive. McCoy under pressure. Now hit as he throws the ball, and they say incomplete pass, and that was Courtney Grigsby who hit him just as the ball was unloaded.
Boy, McCoy he continues to take big hits. We saw earlier Steinkuhler got down around his shin, and this one you got pressure coming from behind. Excellent job by Grigsby, who came on the corner blitz, and now you're looking at a lengthy field goal for Ryan Bailey.
Now this one is going to be placed down at the 37-yard line, so a 47-yard attempt. 52 is his longest. And he's got plenty of distance on this one and plenty of accuracy. He's good. So 2 of 3 today. And our new score at the 3:56 mark is Nebraska 17 and Texas 6. And we go to break, taking one more look at Bailey with a 47-yard Atlanta tomorrow. 17-6. And if you just joined us, it's not reversed. Nebraska coming into this one a 21-point underdog, and right now they lead by 11 points over the homestanding Texas Longhorns.
You know, yesterday we were talking with Mac Brown of Texas. You could see he had genuine concern. He didn't know if his guys had bought into the fact that Nebraska coming here was going to play all out. They were going to throw out anything you'd seen on film, and he just wasn't convinced that his team bought into it. And I share his concern for him now because I see why he was.
Well, this one is not going to be returned by Grigsby. And let's go back to Jack with it.
No wonder he kicked him out.
Whoa, big hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. That's Ocam. And let's go back to Java Chamberlain, who is a huge Nebraska Cornhusker backer. And, of course, pitcher for the Yankees. That ball is caught. He's going to be short at the first down. It's Terrence Nunn. So it'll be third down at about a yard.
And if I am Texas right now, if I'm Dwayne Aquina, the co-defense coordinator and defensive back coach, I'm telling my safeties, do not bite on a play action. This is a perfect moment on third and short for Sam Keller to go with a play fake and try to get one over the top to somebody like Swift or Purify.
We shall see. Well, I'll tell you, Lucky is not going to make it for the first down. Sergio Kendall showing his speed.
Well, Kendall is a part of the second group of linebackers here. There's the veterans, and then there's the young guys with the talent and the speed, and Kendall did an excellent job. He couldn't, as an outside linebacker, get over the top, but he did a great job getting up underneath the block and making the tackle.
He finally is beginning to show what his billing was when he came here, which was an all-everything high school linebacker. Good kick into the wind, particularly. High-hanging spiral taken at the 35 by Cosby. Well, another story from last week. North Dakota
State 2 Division 1A schools this year, and they're not even eligible for the championship division playoffs because they're still transitioning from Division 2.
McCoy lobs it, has it complete, and that is Cosby, and Cosby breaks it inside the 35. It's good for 33 yards on the play. That time McCoy really using his head. He didn't want to carry the ball and get racked again. Throw to a speedy receiver.
And did an excellent job of throwing. And watch Cosby come all the way across. You've got to stay alive. What an excellent job by Cosby. He was just running a little hitch. Did an excellent job of staying alive. And you're right. Colt McCoy did a good job of running away from pressure and threw a great ball.
Running play for a couple. Murillo tackles Jamal Charles.
You get a sense that Texas needed a play like that to get some type of momentum. This momentum in this stadium has been over on the sunny side since about midway through the first quarter, and you get a sense that that type of play may have woken up Mac Brown's Longhorns.
1:10 remaining, third quarter. Nebraska 17, Texas 6. Blitz coming off the corner, and he makes the tackle. That's the cornerback Murillo, who came right in to tackle Jamal Charles. And you hear the boos from the crowd.
Well, and this is a blitz that Kevin Cosgrove has been calling. The corner, watch him come in and make the tackle, and they just don't have an answer for it. This play, it's a draw. It's a little bit of a counteraction, so it takes longer to get going, and that allows the corner to get there. If you just roll straight ahead, you may be able to get there.
Time permitting, stay tuned for the Dell post-game report. John, Craig, and Doug are going to have scores and highlights from around the country. Third down. Texas needs the 24-yard line. Blitz coming again. McCoy steps up, tries to get away from it. Tony Hill helped him out, and now just throws the ball away and then gets thrown down late. And McCoy is up saying, where's the flag? I had already delivered the football.
It's Barry Turner who was chasing, but it was Corey McEwen who came on the blitz. Well, you couldn't tell if Turner knocked him down or if their feet just got tangled up, but it sure looked like from up here like he did get pushed down. But give all the credit in the world to the defensive staff of Nebraska. They have not let up from the first snap of the game. They have brought a multitude of blitzes, and this offensive line for Texas and the fullbacks and the tight ends just haven't been able to deal with it. And Texas, I think, is going to need to take a timeout here. You don't want to rush this.
Well, had to rush it, but Bailey got it anyway. And let's go down to
And you get the feeling that the players from Nebraska bought into what Bill Callahan was telling them.
Yes.
Don't play for the coaches. Play for yourselves. You have a lot to play for. A bowl game and your futures. Don't worry about us. We're grown men. Play for yourselves. You get a feeling that that message sunk in.
Hunter Lawrence with the kick. And this one will not be returnable as well. So because the ball did not go in play, the 2 seconds remains in the third quarter. 5 plays, 33 yards, and Bailey with a 49-yard field goal.
And I would want to see Nebraska go back to that inside zone run play with Marlon Lucky and Castile and Halu. They had a lot of success with that in the first quarter and a half, and we haven't seen much of it since. I would want them to start, if I'm a Nebraska fan, start shrinking the clock a little bit and getting 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, figuring with Miller out on the defensive line that the defensive line of Texas may start to get worn out.
So with 2 seconds left, Keller goes under center. Derry, the linebacker, who was showing blitz, and Lucky will take it for about 3 yards, and that is the end of the third quarter. So we'll be back. 4 by quarters. Nebraska 10 in the second, 7 in the third. Pitch comes back to Lucky, turns the corner, has 5, has 10, and then steps out of bounds at around the 33-yard line.
And let's check that off the aggressive nature of their defense. I really do.
Their defense has had some time to rest in this ballgame. We saw them up in Missouri. They played all night. This is Halu. And hit in the open field and stopped after a couple. That's Brandon Foster who got out there to make the hit.
You go back to Sean Watson coming out of the booth, coming down onto the field. That's a tall order. And I've always felt that head coaches, very few can be involved in the play calling. And that's a tall order for Bill Callahan to be the play caller. He's always done that his whole career. He's only been a head coach a couple of times at Oakland and here, and didn't want to give that up. But I think it's a good move to have Sean Watson down on the field with him helping out.
Aaron Lewis is back in the ball game as a flag goes down. Number 95 at defensive end.
Prior to the snap, full start, 72 offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Jack, 53. Marlon Lucky in the ball game. He gets a shovel pass and then a good open field tackle. That's Bobino. Bobino, the middle linebacker, was not fooled, and he caught him around the ankles, which is about the only place you can tackle a guy like Marlon Lucky, who will break your tackle and go for another 10 quickly.
Well, that's a nice tackle. Good finish, and now you've got a 3rd and long, and finally this crowd that had been kind of booing some of the play calling on offense getting back into it.
almost picked off. That was Dion Beasley, a sophomore out of West Orange Stark down in the, what is called the Triangle, the Magic Triangle down in southeastern Texas.
That was a dangerous throw by Sam Keller because Beasley could not have had better coverage. Does an excellent job of breaking on the ball, working one-on-one on Terrence Nunn, and he's very close to making a play.
One of the things that Texas has been thriving on this year is big plays on the part of the defense, and they have not gotten one today. That was a possibility, but he couldn't hold on. Bearcats is signaled for and made by Cosby at the 26. 40 yards and a kick. Okay, Matt. Well, Autzen Stadium.
Great place.
It's a tough place to play, isn't it, if you're the visiting team?
Yep. I went to University of Washington, never got a win there. It's an unbelievable place.
Obanayev is at tailback, and he'll fake it to him. And McCoy going to go long. Cosby. Is that, well, it was a two-man route. There was a trail underneath, and McCoy is down.
Well, the last time we were here, which was the last time Texas was here against Kansas State, we saw a lot of this. It was a push right there, and it's exactly what we saw. That was Philip Dillard. Exactly what we saw against Kansas State. The same type of push where he lands and his head hits the turf.
Well, it's the second time that it's happened with a push, and the officials have not seen fit to.
When you take a look at the numbers for Nebraska, it has been a disastrous season. Of course, Nebraska goes by the black shirts, their defense, and they voted as a team to take that away. And Kevin Cosgrove has to be so proud of what his team has done today versus what they came in here giving up. This is one of the worst defenses in the country, and they played lights out this afternoon.
Jamal Charles in the game at quarterback. Freshman right out of high school. Played at Summit High School in Dallas. And here's Jamal Charles. And this is what Ed was talking about. Give him a breath, and you get blown away. That's 25 yards just like that.
Well, and now with Childs, and we saw this play a couple of times with Colt McCoy. Now the defense has to slow down because of this guy. He could keep this ball. And you've got two Nebraska defenders who have to stay home on the backside because of that ability of Childs to run, and you take a little of the aggressiveness out of it.
McCoy back into the ball game, and Childs will come out. A little surprised that Charles tried to juke him instead of just running past him.
And that's Murillo, the cornerback, being helped off.
And he has played a really good ball game for them. Leaving under his own power, though, that's good. He's got 6 tackles on the afternoon, does Murillo. Blitz off the corner, and McCoy's going to keep it. McCoy inside the 25. They brought the corner blitz, and he ran right by him.
Exact same play. And McCoy can run this. Do not think that McCoy cannot run the zone read. And watch the blitz, and there's going to be the seam right there that McCoy takes. Excellent job of him pulling that back out. Sometimes you tell the quarterback, read it and give to the running back, and sometimes you just tell him, just keep it, just do the fake. That one looked to me like that was the design quarterback run the whole way.
24 yards on that play. 25 on the run by Charles a moment ago. And here's Charles in the secondary, and he'll score.
And Texas, Mac Brown trying to get control of the sideline. They're going to have to go for 2.
Well, some people had to be awakened and sitting in the stands because they have not had a lot to cheer about this afternoon. But this is what you were alluding to with Charles. When you put him with a quick hitter, if somebody makes an error, it is goodbye.
Well, and they're lining up for their first 2-point conversion attempt of the season. They're lined up in the same formation, maybe the same run combination.
You see The Cornhuskers ganging up in the middle. Lob pass in the middle is going to be too tall for Jermichael Finley.
Well, they're trying to get it to Jermichael Finley, and he was held. There was no doubt about it that Lance Brandenburg held Finley. And McCoy, right when he threw it, started yelling for a flag, and that should have been thrown. Brandenburg got away with a hold on that two-point conversion. I'm sure that's going to be on that reel.
Yeah. But I'm sorry's don't mean much on Monday. It sure did.
Not to Louisville.
I started to say, Coach Craigthorpe got one of those I'm sorry calls last week.
East.
Here comes the kick, going to be taken at the 6-yard line by Grigsby. And he'll be knocked out of bounds at around the 36.
Well, and what they're booing about is there was a illegal block in the back by Corey McEwen that was right by Grigsby, and no flag was called. Boy, what a difference in field position. If that penalty was called, it'd be Nebraska's ball. Right here. And boy, the crowd was right. That should have been called, and what a difference in field position that call would have made.
These guys must be on the same flight you're on.
Trying to get out of here.
Quick pass, and that is Swift. And Swift finally bumped out of bounds at around the 47-yard line. Brandon Foster got out there defensively.
Now can Nebraska react to Texas getting back into the game? Momentum had been on their side for the better part of 3 quarters. And all of a sudden, Texas gets a nice touchdown. And can Sam Keller get his offense back on track and say, all right, guys, we're in a ball game. Now we've got to fight and scrap and try to get something out of this drive.
On first down, Lucky puts a head down, and that is very close to an 8-yard gain. Oduego makes the tackle. Well, tonight, Texas is not 100%. They got a bigger mountain to climb, don't they? Keller just going to throw it into the ground.
And Arakpo is hoping for a grounding, and they're going to throw it. The line judge came to discuss with the referee if Keller was outside of the tackle box and decided that he wasn't.
Intentional grounding, Nebraska. Lost it down, that's a spot. 3rd down.
So basically it's just like Arakpo getting so that's the line right at the horns. Right at the horns is what you're going to look for. Oh, he's out. Oh, you know what? Wasn't beyond the line of scrimmage. There you go. Right call by the officials. Absolutely. Good call. So he was outside the box, but you've got to throw it beyond the line of scrimmage.
Loss of down, so it's 3rd down, and also from the spot. So it's 3rd down and 15. Keller looking over the middle, and could not hold on. Nate Swift with an unbelievable effort to bring it in, and I thought he was going to make his catch of the year. Couldn't grab it. Watch the effort here on the part of Nate Swift.
Well, Keller was trying to throw this a little behind him because of where the coverage was, but just got a little bit too far behind him. And well, and
Marcus Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin. If Griffin doesn't come in and knock down the arms, I think Swift makes that catch.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. Marcus Griffin is the man who caused it, and here is the boot. Not going to turn over, but it's a good kick. Being gathered in at the 11 by Cosby. And it's going to be stopped at around the 17-yard line. So it's 47 yards in the kick and 7 on the return. Texas with the football at around the 17-yard line. They trail by a couple. A missed field goal looms large as far as the Horns are concerned, but there's still just over 11 minutes to play in this football game. Charles is again. And just getting a piece of him is Octavian to save a huge gainer. Let's go down.
It's down to the final 10:44.
Well, one of the things that they're doing, Jack, that is McCoy gets collared and caught by the face mask, and that's the reason 3 flags came down. Ricky Tenars is the man who's going to be flagged on the play.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 3, defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, when you start to get the running game going, and it's the exact same play, that's an easy one to call. They've missed a couple. You can't really miss that one. But when you talk about finishing, as Jack did with Coach Brown preaching to his team about you got to finish what you start. When you start getting the running game going to Jamal Charles, it makes it a lot easier to finish games, which they've gotten in the last couple of series.
Obanaya's in the ball game right now. The ball is tipped and is intercepted by Zach Potter.
And McCoy got leveled by Larry Asante. Asante came on a blitz that did not get picked up. Time and time again this year for Texas, it has been blitz pickup that has been the problem, and that time it was Asante who made them pay. Watch Asante, he's lined up. He's basically lined up as a linebacker. He's not even coming from depth. He is the free man. Colt McCoy has to know that there's nobody over there.
You saw what he was waiting on. He had an open receiver one-on-one right over the middle that might have gone for a touchdown.
Well, the protection was set up that Larry Asante was the free man. And Colt McCoy, either there was miscommunication where the line didn't know to bump out, or they just didn't do it.
Hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's Sergio Kendall. Kendall, I mentioned earlier, last year had a high ankle sprain and really never was effective. He played on special teams. This year, a DUI. He was suspended for the first part of the season. And talk about coming into his own. This kid at 235 can run like the wind, and he has been good today.
And a little knee injury. He was battling there for a while, so Texas glad to have him back.
Lucky. And Marlin will take it inside the 40 to the 39. Well, Nebraska's last win in Austin, 1960. The Huskers against the Horns here in Austin. Third down, Keller throwing to the end zone, and incomplete, overthrown, intended for Todd Peterson.
And that time, it was Dwayne Aquina and Larry McDuff, the two defensive coordinators for Texas, who decided to bring some pressure.
What do you do here? You got to go field goal, you got to punt. This is a lengthy job.
Yeah, I think you have to punt it. If they were going to kick it,
yeah, they're going to punt.
Yeah, it would have been Kanalik, but I think that's even a little long for him.
It would have been an attempt of about 56 yards. 7th time that Nebraska's had to punt today. It's Dan Titston. Kicks it for the far sideline. And it takes a Nebraska bounce and is going to be touched dead at the 2-yard line by Danny Erickson. So 37 yards of the punt, but that's not the important thing. Longhorns are 98.
Does McCoy need to know that there's an unblocked man out there and just throw it up and see if Cosby can make a play?
Well, straight ahead with a running play. He'll take it out to around the 6-yard line. I'll tell you what. I'm not so sure that the receiver on the left side where he was looking when he made his cut, Nate Jones, might have scored had he released the ball to him.
Yeah, well, and it's impossible to know whether someone was supposed to bump out. It looked to me like they had a hat on a hat on a hat on that side with the tight end and the running back, and that was just the free man. And you do that, you block inside out. So if that was the case, then that's on the quarterback. He's got to know someone's unblocked.
Blitz coming off the corner. McCoy will keep it straight ahead, and he'll have the first down. And let's go back to New York. 1-8. But a tough year. Charles back in a tailback. Here comes the blitz again. They hand it off to Charles. Turns the corner. Hang on. He's gone. Charles. Let's count it off. 20, 15, 10, 5, 86 yards. Jamal Charles. And they finally caught him with too many people bunched in the middle. Texas will go for 2. Tony Hills is motioning to the officials that I thought he said they wanted it on the left hash mark, but they're going to leave it right there, right squarely in the middle of the field. McCoy's going to keep it and didn't get it. Misses it by inches, but he did not get it, and that's Bowman who was hanging on to him along with Asante.
And McCoy is slow in getting up again. You know, if you're going to be doing some quarterback runs, you may want to start thinking about getting Childs in there, because this young man has been taking a beating. Does everything he can. He's such a fighter, he's not going to give up. Boy, missed it by about 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of guys landing on top of him, his head hitting the turf. You've got to wonder, Colt McCoy, who already battled a concussion before, is going to be taking too many shots in this game.
Let's take a look at this touchdown run and watch. This is the value of speed. Once Charles got by the final defender, it was over.
Watch the block up top. And you're absolutely right. Look at all of the white jerseys up around the line of scrimmage. And the last guy, Brandenburg, there is no safety because all of those guys were down around the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And when the former Big 1200-meter champion gets that much of a lead.
That's the reason I said at the 40 he's gone.
Yeah, you did. You sure did. I thought there may have been an angle from the backside when you said it. That angle was gone.
No, it was gone. It was
gone.
wiped out immediately.
Yeah.
86 yards, by the way, the longest offensive play by Texas this season. 7:33 left in the ball game. Still a lot of wiggle room for Nebraska. And Texas better not rest on their laurels, because the Huskers have already proven that they came in here to play this afternoon. Here's the kick by Hunter Lawrence. Going to be returnable. Grigsby. Whoa, does he get hit at the 25-yard line. And I'll tell you that the Ohio State team, everybody talks about offenses, but their defense is stout. Incomplete. The pass over the middle. Purify the intended receiver.
And you were talking about Beanie Wells and his health.
Yes.
But the key for me, and we've seen James Laurinaitis twice this year, Anthony Morelli has a tendency in some big games to throw it to the other team. And Laurinaitis is as good as any linebacker in the country backing out and making picks.
We saw him not with 1, but 2 picks up in Washington against the Huskies, and both were just things of beauty. Keller deep over the middle, got him in out there, and it is caught by Swift. Nate Swift goes high and brings it down, and that brings a hush to the crowd here at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium.
Well,
36 yards.
Texas is so tired of seeing Swift on the post from the inside. It's the exact same route that Swift ran on both of those touchdowns. He's just going to run right by the linebacker, and the safety has to make a choice and give Keller, he came from the backside. I saw the 7 and thought that was Swift, but that is the exact same route that he ran for both of those touchdowns.
Marlon Lucky straight up the middle, takes it off right guard to about the 35 before Kendall makes the tackle for Texas. It's not a time to panic. This drive is going exactly the way you would take it out of a book. They want to run time off the clock, but also get it into the end zone, and then leave Texas with very little to work with.
And you feel like this is the drive of the season for Nebraska. Can they answer all of the adversity? Can they answer it, both on and off the field?
Quick pass comes out to Purify. Purify shoved out of bounds. And that'll be enough for the first down at the 29. It's McElroy who made the play.
And very quietly, Sam Keller is playing lights out. Marlon Lucky's had some nice plays. We've seen Swift, and we talked about Swift, but here sits Keller at 20 of 29 for 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He's played lights out.
Yeah, he has. Aaron Lewis, number 95, comes back in at defensive line for the Longhorns. Here comes a push. Keller hit as he throws, and it's going to fall short of the intended receiver, and again it is number 2. And Kendall, all of a sudden, it's like the picture has gotten bigger, and he is beginning to see what's there and what he's supposed to do.
And he is one of those young, fast linebackers. Marlon Lucky was assigned to block him, and Kendall is so fast that he got there quicker than Lucky expected him.
Here is second down and 10. Delayed blitz. Ball is knocked loose and picked up by the Longhorns. And that is Ocam. Frank Ocam.
And it looked to me like it was Ocam who stripped it as well. Well, this is one thing the Texas defense has done all year is key takeaways. They've scored. Excellent job by Ocam. Yeah,
you're right. Stripped it and made the recovery.
Yeah, and the nice part is that's such good textbook pass rush. You get your outside arm. That's the free one that you reach over. Good finish by Ocam. And the ball couldn't have bounced any better for 97, could it have? That ball sometimes gets kicked around. It stayed right at his feet, and he picked it up.
6:09 left in the ball game. Imperative that Nebraska come up with a big stop just like that right there. That's Zach Potter who got penetration, and that's loss of 3 Texas on first down. And let's go down to the partner. 5:30 left, and the clock is running.
Well, you've got to figure that Texas is going to try to shrink this game with a running game, and with the report from Jack and Colt McCoy taking all these hits, I wonder if, and I know he's a freshman, but maybe get Jamal Charles in there to run a couple of these quarterback runs and stop letting number 12 take hits.
You don't know Mac Brown, do you?
He doesn't like the freshman in there.
He does not want a freshman handling the football.
Yeah,
and you know what, guys? I think this is an opportunity for Colt McCoy to establish himself both as the spiritual and the vocal leader.
Yeah, you're right.
They see just how tough he's playing right now. This will go a long way.
Yep.
Well, but when you start talking about concussions, I start getting nervous. And he's already suffered one, and now Texas is going to take that timeout, try to burn as much time off the clock before this 3rd and long.
They let it go down to 1 second, which brought the game clock to 4:46. So while they take one, we'll take a times on the afternoon. Right now, it's Obanaya in the ball game on 3rd down. Texas needs to take it to the Nebraska 47-yard line, and Nebraska back way off defensively, and it's a throwback. Jermichael Finley, the tight end, and Finley close to the first down, and I'll tell you, on the second effort as he got spun around,
this spot either was very generous or Lance Brandenburg was under the body of Finley.
Well, he's shaken up. Yes.
As Brandenburg spun around, watch all the play action go to the right. Go to the right. And Finley, who faked like he fell down, came back to the other side. Now watch the spot at the end of this. Does Brandenburg, well, I believe he did. It didn't look to me.
Boy, and the tough thing is Brandenburg injured on the play. You could see him grabbing his arm.
but I think the spot was accurate because as Brandenburg spun Finley around, his body stayed below Finley, and I think they got the spot right. It looked at first to be generous, but
well, when you look at this again, coming up right here,
knees never touch. He's by the sticks. Actually, could have given him another half yard on that spot, but Texas not complaining. That is a huge conversion, and a good job by Finley. Faked like he fell down, came back the other way. Good finish of the run.
Quan Cosby comes out of the huddle early, split to the bottom of your screen. Jamal Charles back in the game at tailback. And they hand it to him right up the middle, and he hammers his way for about 5 yards. And Matt Weiner, you got more. Charles again bounces it outside and finally stopped at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Asante makes the tackle for Nebraska. Now, this is a huge play right here. There have been a number of them in the ball game, but the clock is down to 3 minutes and 41 seconds because it stopped because Nebraska called a timeout to talk it over and also to save a little time. If they hold Texas here, Texas, I believe, is out of field goal range. Let's double check on Bailey. His longest, I know, is 50 plus. It's 52. And this attempt would be from about 57 yards.
And I don't think you'd want to do it because of the chance of a block.
Trajectory
and
is
everything
low.
else. So,
plus fact, it's into the wind this way.
And I don't know why you'd even get fancy with this if you're Texas. By the way, I think a good use of a timeout by Nebraska because that clock was starting to melt. Jamal Charles has been your guy. And Nebraska, for the 4th time this year, has now given up over 300 rushing yards because of number 25. I think you feed it to 25.
So Nebraska with 2 timeouts left. Texas has 2 timeouts left.
And you would like to get that field goal. You'd like to get down in that range to put it beyond a touchdown.
You see the Huskers lining up at the line of scrimmage, and now the middle linebacker, another one. They come off the corner, running play, and here goes Charles. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 40 yards. Everybody ganged up at the line of scrimmage, and all you need is a breath as far as the amount of blocking that has to happen. 264 yards. Bailey has the extra point. And now with 3 minutes and 34 seconds showing on the clock, let's take one more look at the touchdown. 28-17 Longhorns.
Bill Callahan's defense just got worn out. They played great for about 3 quarters. You mentioned there is no safety back. If we freeze it right here, once you're free, if you've committed everyone here, there's nobody home, and then you're going to get that block up top. And it's Olympic caliber speed. I don't fault Nebraska for what they were trying to do. That's what kept them in this game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
They came in, it looked like they were on the path for a giant upset, 21-point underdog. So they were going to stick with the defense that they had been running all day, but I think they just got worn out at the point of attack at the end.
Well, again, they had so much success by doing that, and they had a lot of folks at the line of scrimmage, but again, it was about the only thing that they could do. And for anybody who would get upset with Nebraska for going about it the way they did, I think you're wrong.
I think they came in with a good plan. I think that Texas is just a better team than them physically. They came in with a very good plan, and they stuck with it. But unfortunately, Texas has guys like Jamal Charles and Jermichael Finley, guys who can make big plays when you need them.
Well, they kicked this one on the ground and picked up and returned to the 40-yard line is Mike McNeil. Well, Nebraska's last that's to Lucky, and Marlon Lucky will have the first down. It's going to be a gain of about 11 on the play. Biggest thing right now is to keep an eye on the clock.
So if you are Nebraska, you are down 11, so there's a field goal in here. Don't waste too much time on this drive. If you start to run in mud at about the 25 or 30, kick it. Then go for your onside kick. Don't waste too much time on this drive.
Well, the pass thrown, a little drag route right over the middle. Bobineau makes the stop on Lucky.
And Sam Keller all year has been very good in their 2-minute drill. He's been up around 80% completion. A lot of people in Nebraska thinking maybe they should just stay in this offense, but Keller's been very efficient when they get into this situation.
And he's had a good day. Wide open, guess who? Swift. I'll tell you, he is really going to be bothered when he gets on the plane because someone's going to be sitting next to him. That's as close as anybody's been to him today. I'm telling you, because nobody in a burnt orange jersey has been close to him, I can tell you that. Jamal Charles, first 3 quarters, 74 yards, and look, in the 4th quarter, 9 attempts, 190 yards. Going for the end zone, got a man there, and he overthrew Purify. You know, those numbers on Charles, there are a lot of people from down in his part of the world that have complained, been very vocal, that in high school he carried the ball 30 and 35 times, and the last 10 times is when he killed it. Now, the fumbles that he has had this year is one of the reasons he has not been given the ball that much, but he certainly backs up their theory here today.
And if you're Nebraska, I think you take 1 or 2 more shots into the end zone here. Don't mess around with the clock, and then maybe look for the field goal.
Boy, Keller is down. It was Eddie Jones coming with some pressure. We may see Joe Gantz here, at least for a play, as Keller just unable to get up. While we have a second here, let's
more athletic of the two, so I would think maybe they'll try some kind of rollout to get him away from pressure.
He knows the offense very well.
Yes,
it's his 4th year there. From the shotgun, Gantz steps up, goes for the end zone, had a man there, and he let him just a little too much. That's France Hardy, the man he was looking for. You know, the thing we talked about Ohio State last week, and for lack of a better term, you know, I think if they keep those running backs healthy, if they play ugly, meaning if they play defense and run the football, they're capable of doing it.
And I can't figure out why Nebraska's not kicking a field goal here. You're down 11 points. You need a touchdown, 2-point conversion and field goal. You've got to kick it here.
2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the ball game. Gantz, far sideline, got his man, and Purify will have the first down. 12 yards in the play. That silences the crowd. It's obvious they want to get the big number first.
Purify, the guy who had some off-the-field issues, was suspended earlier in the season. He's a big, rangy guy with good speed, and he just got good burst, and Ryan Palmer was late on his break.
Texas called a timeout, I believe, just before the ball was snapped.
Timeout, Texas.
Well, let's go back to strategy here. If you're Nebraska, again, you don't want to waste too much time worrying about the touchdown. You're still thinking about a field goal, touchdown, 2-point conversion. The good news for Texas, I always look at 11 points as really 3 scores, because 2-point conversions to me are like having to score again. So a good position for Texas to be in with 2:27 left and Nebraska down to 2 timeouts.
That's a good look at Sam Keller on the sidelines, and he is in considerable pain. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
And a real shame. Senior came in here, played lights out. I don't think that Nebraska could have expected the quarterback to play any better today, and it's a shame he may not get to finish it.
Well, there was movement. It's going to cost them 5 yards. New quarterback,
Right
new
and snap.
cadence.
Full start, 72 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Javario Burks, who's a true freshman, in there because Leiden Murtha, who's the usual tackle in that spot, has a broken toe. Well, it didn't look like Burks moved to me. There was some movement, but I think they called the wrong number.
Yeah, I think you're right. Gant's going to run it. 15 at the 10, and instead of going out of bounds, went on downfield, took it all the way to the 5. Foster finally was there defensively.
Gant should have fought to get out of bounds there.
Clock runs 2:10, now 2:09. And they're really having to hustle as they get back to the line of scrimmage. Second down, fade route, far corner, caught by Nebraska, touchdown Purified.
Now you've got to score. Like I said, it's like scoring twice. You've got to get the 2-point conversion. Now remember, Gans is an athletic quarterback. Excellent throw. You've got the height advantage over that side. Purify working against a 5'9" corner in Foster, but now with a athletic quarterback, if you're Texas, you think maybe some type of option with Gans or a rollout to one side. You may want to bring blitz to the side of the 3 receivers, because I would get Gans on the moves with his athleticism.
1:55 to play. They need this 2-point conversion. Gantz straight in the pocket, right over the middle, man wide open for the 2-point conversion. Guess who? Swift. 3-point ball game. Texas 28-25 with 1:55 showing on the clock. Now in timeouts, you can tell by the dots underneath, Nebraska still has 2 and Texas has 1.
And you're going to see an onside kick now by Nebraska, and they are 0 for 1 this season on onside kicks. But the way football, both pro and college, has been going lately, we saw it the other night with Virginia Tech and Boston College. If I were Mac Brown, I'd be a little nervous, because it seems there's something in the zeitgeist about onside kicks that a lot of people are recovering them. I always think the technique is so important. You know, I don't think you want to dribble it. I think you want to drive it in the ground, get it up in the air, and hope that it gets batted around so that you have a chance to do it. Don't expect it on the 2nd or 3rd time it's going to catch an edge and jump in the air. I think you want to try to drive it into the ground and get it up in the air immediately.
Also, last weekend, it looks like Henry is going to be the man who will kick it off. Who was it that hit a drive kick, looking for an onside kick, and it bounced off one of the receiving team, and that's the way they made the recovery.
Well, that was similar to what happened in Virginia Tech, Boston College the other night. The receivers came over the 10-yard to try to catch it, came off the shoulder pads, and Boston College was able to recover it.
Henry, there's the high bouncer, and it is caught by...
He caught it, and then he dropped it, and then he grabbed it.
Brandon Foster.
I'm telling you, there's something in the air. I've got it. I don't have it.
Yeah, you could see the Nebraska player reacted when all of a sudden he looked up and said, he's lost the football. Take another look.
Just never put it away. And that was Marlon Lucky, the running back in there, who was speeding towards the ball.
Right and snap. Full start. 19 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Blaine Irby, who was a freshman, number 19. That's only 2 penalties against the Longhorns today.
And because of these 2 timeouts, if Texas does not pick up a first down, they'll have to punt. You can only run, give or take 15 seconds, about a minute off the clock when the opposition has 2 timeouts.
Charles goes down quickly this time. And a timeout called by Nebraska. Oh, huge.
Offensive line for Nebraska got a little more tired, and Charles got a little more head of steam. He was breaking through that second and third level, and nobody was home. And, of course, the great speed of Charles, 190 yards in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable.
That's incredible. The 265 total. That's the 6th best in Longhorn history, and the most since 283 by Cedric Benson, who now plays for the Chicago Bears, and that was against Texas A&M by Benson. And you know, they're totally different kind of runners, because Cedric, you know, very good power runner, but nowhere near the speed this kid has, but bigger also. Charles bounces it back out to this side, and Charles is going to take it inside the 30, stay on the field to play rather than going out of bounds, and picks up the first down. How about that, John Saunders?
Well, and now with 1 timeout, Texas should be able to run the clock out. Because they come into this set of downs with the clock already running, they'll get almost 25 seconds taken off before they have to snap it here.
Game clock goes under 1:15. And here's Charles, bounces it outside, and again works very hard at keeping the ball in bounds, and he does at the 20. Philip Dillard makes the stop for the Cornhuskers.
Well, here's a little trivia. The NCAA record for 1-quarter rushing, Corey Dillon from the University of Washington. So Jamal Charles getting awfully close to the NCAA record.
Well, 1,000 yards on the season for him now. He is at 290 rushing on the day. That's now the 4th best.
Well, I think his day may be done, because if you're Texas, you can run the clock out. So you may start taking a knee.
Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Sam Keller, quarterback for Nebraska, and Jamal Charles, running back for Texas. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
I hope the effort of Nebraska is not lost. You know, there are so many things going on in and around this program, and we all get caught up in talking about guys and if they're going to lose their job and everything, and sometimes we forget guys like Sam Keller and Purify and individuals like that came out and fought hard. I hope this team gets some recognition for a well-fought game here in Austin.
You know, Zach Potter, also Brandenburg defensively.
Potter played great.
Yeah, he really did.
Prior to the snap, false start, 55 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Cedric Dockery. That's a heck of a way to get my name announced to this crowd here. His older brother is already in the NFL, a really fine offensive lineman who graduated from University of Texas just a short time ago.
Well, his day was done until that false start by Mr. Dockery, so Jamal should go thank him that he's got to come back out. Although Texas could just simply run out the clock if they chose to do so.
Clock is at 1:07. And Charles got to be stopped after a gain of 1. Big day as far as Mac Brown is concerned. If he holds on to win this one, it's appearing that that will happen. His 100th win with the victory here this afternoon.
Wasn't even brought up. Didn't even want to talk about it. And Jamal Charles with 217 yards in the fourth quarter may fall just short of the NCAA record of Corey Dillon at 222 yards. Rushing yards in 1 quarter.
Charles has come to the bench, though, and will not get an opportunity to break it. This is Obanaya. And Chris is going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They don't have to run another play. This one's going to go in the book. And people will look at it and say, well, Texas won, and it's 4 straight losses for Nebraska. Tell you what, folks, these kids from Lincoln, they fought their hearts out.
And I guarantee you Matt Brown is going to go up to Bill Callahan and congratulate him for a great effort that he brought his team in and showed the people from Austin that this team can play.
Our final score, Texas 28 and Nebraska 25. Be sure to join us tonight on ABC for Saturday Night Football. Top-ranked Ohio State against Penn State, 8 o'clock Eastern. For Ed Cunningham and Jack Arute, I'm Ron Franklin saying so long from Austin. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Orange here in Stillwater at T. Boone Pickens Stadium, along with Jesse Palmer. I'm Dave Lamont. Vince Welch is also with